Welcome to the Operation Game Night Podcast, episode 35, a tradition unlike any other. Today, we're taking the podcast on the road. We got the rambling man himself, Clayton Gable. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing great, Travis. Ready to ramble.
Excellent. The I've been everywhere man, Jared Erickson. How you doing, Jared?
I'm excellent. We had a second to freshen up before the podcast. I did go get some Bad Boy on.
Oh,
So still not sponsored by Bad Boy, but
yeah, we should probably hit them up.
Smelling fresh.
Didn't you make that scent, or is that you saying that's your custom scent?
That-
When you said it was your custom scent,
No,
I
it's-
assumed you mixed it yourself.
No, it's my signature scent.
Oh,
when
your
people smell Bad Boy, they think Jared, or maybe when they smell Jared, they think Bad Boy. It's something like that.
The next time Jared
either
sweats
way.
in your mouth, you're going to think Bad Boy. Yes, we're taking the podcast on the road today because we are talking travel games. But first, we're going to debrief our weeks. And then once we hit the mission objective, we're going to talk about what we've been doing outside of board gaming in our Over the Fence segment. So, Jared, hit me. What have you played this week?
All right. Well, obviously, other than my normal board game arena games, I've been super stoked to tell you guys about my day. Well, definitely not playing Creature Caravan. I was playing Dune Imperium. There we go. So, I got some awesome people that live down the street. They're my babysitters. It's a family of 7, so 5 kids. 3 boys that are all they crush it. Okay. The dad, code name, I guess, well, his call sign is Clutch. Well, he comes in clutch because all of his boys are hardcore gamers. They have this game upstairs. I don't know what it's called. You guys might know it. It's like a World War II game where they play as like Germany, Russia, and like France and the UK, and then like America comes in. Whenever Pearl Harbor happens, it's wild. Like it seems way in depth and insane, but they're like 10, 12, and 17, but these dudes know how to ball, and I played Dune Imperium with these guys. So Dune Imperium came out in 2020. Paul Denon, Dire Wolf dropped this one. This one's awesome. Deck builder, area control, worker placement, right up my alley. I mean, it's got the same feeling, touch, and taste of Arnak, but so much more player interaction and head-to-head combat. Every round, you're fighting for resources, and in the conflict, you literally go head-to-head against the other players and put your little battle cubes into the conflict to see who walks away with the round-specific rewards from the war. I love it. The resources are also quite simple. You got spice, you got the money, and you got the water. But the way that you use them and you combine them, it's awesome. I mean, there are other resources, I guess you could say. The warriors could be considered a resource. Putting them into the battlefield or storing them in your garrison. Other resources could be the influence that you use to buy upgraded cards for your deck building portion of this game. I love the asymmetry of the game as well, because there's player abilities. This is another huge one for us on Operation Game Night.
Oh, yeah.
Love us some player abilities. So I played this one first time. I sent him Rodney. I sent him a Rodney game. The boys watched it. The dad didn't. So the dad and the youngest one, they played together. They were in the lead the whole time. And is anyone surprised that I had some intrigue cards up my sleeve and I pulled it off in the end? Conflict 3, near the end of the game, the conflicts, they give you more and more victory points or more resources when you win the battles. I had some sweet Bene Gesserit cards. I was twisting the fates. I was making sure I was getting the right locations. I was pushing a crap load of warriors into the conflict. And one of the coolest thing is those intrigue cards. They're like hidden objectives or like hidden resources that you can just blah, like play these intrigue cards. No one saw it coming. Pulled off the W. I just, pushed those little 12-year-olds down on the ground. Totally got the W.
Metaphorically speaking.
Metaphorical, yeah. I was totally, within reason and respectfully.
Oh, of course. Jared, who was your house leader? What faction did you play as?
I was the dude with the mullet. I kept it really chill, and
Okay.
we only played with like the basic level guys, so we weren't doing the oiled up boy. What's
Okay.
that guy's name?
House
But
Harkonnen.
House Harkonnen.
Yep.
So, but I did leave it with them, and they got another round in, and the youngest one, he did win with Oily Boy. He Oily Boy
Oh,
led him to victory. The youngest one won when they ran it back. This one's also, I love this one as well because it's got some sweet expansions. Rise of Ix, Immortality, and Uprising. Also, this one is going to be on World Series of board gaming. So I need to get some more reps and sets in here before September. So which one? Which
yeah.
expansion is it? Is it Immortality or is it the Uprising? I can't remember.
So Uprising's like more of a redone version of the whole game. So you can just buy Uprising, and it's Dune Imperium with some tweaks.
It is
Rise
Uprising.
of Ix.
Uprising is the
Okay.
World Series. So
Yeah, so there's some
Uprising is a
interesting
whole new
tweaks.
game.
Broad strokes, it's the same. There's these like spies you can put out, so you can have a spy at different locations. So even if that location's blocked, you can still take an action there. So that's like one of the changes. There's also like you have to get the hooks, and then you can get a sandworm to add to the combat. So there's some cool things going on in Uprising. Yeah,
You can
I think I
play
mentioned
more
on the
player
hotness.
count too,
Yeah.
right? You can play up to 6 players.
I think there's like some epic team mode at 6 that you can do.
Okay.
So yeah, Uprising's kind of taken over, but it's good to hear like just base Dune Imperium was great.
Yeah,
And
still is. Still
I,
is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have Rise of Ix and Immortality. I've never even played with Immortality. I usually do add the Rise of Ix because I like the dreadnoughts and being able to put those in there, which is fun. And that like chome track, I think it's called, where you can like go up as far as you want and then take all the rewards when you decide to go back down.
The reward slide.
So I like the Rise of Ix. I haven't tried Immortality, but yeah, base Dune Imperium is still just a freaking great game.
What a great game.
It was weird.
Everyone was getting that heart racing vibe. Even in the Conflict 1, people were like, ooh, give me the rule book. I need the rule book. Like they were into it. Okay. So I mean these guys are in it. So
this is a game that I wish that I could go back and like experience for the first time again, because that first time when you're like everybody's racing up these different tracks for the different favors and collecting spice or water, and like it just seems like there's so many paths to victory, and this one lit my brain on fire, and this one stuck with me, and I knew that I had to play it again and again and again. So it seems weird to me that they released the Dune Imperium Uprising at the same time that their like official Direwolf, Grey Wolf app came out, Direwolf Studios. They've released the base game, just regular Dune Imperium, at the exact same time that Dune Imperium Uprising was coming out, and that they didn't do those like sequentially, or it's just like weird timing. But yeah, Jared, you might have to pay for an upgrade and go get Dune Imperium Uprising so you can be prepared.
Probably should.
If you're getting serious about it, you might have to invest.
Well, I mean, I haven't bought plane tickets. Well, here's the problem. I haven't even met my new boss yet, and my new boss doesn't know I'm a nerd yet, and that I need to take some time off in September to go play board games in Vegas. So
Well,
he's
you're
probably going to think I'm an idiot, but
you're also an
it's got to
engineer.
happen.
You're an
Yeah, I
engineer,
know.
and that's expected. So
Maybe I'll just send him this video. I'll just be like, "Hey, I need you to know I'm in a podcast, and also I'm leaving in September to play board games." So
if
I don't know.
people can get like permissive TDY to go run a marathon in Disneyland, you can get permissive TDY to go play board games in Vegas.
Yeah, maybe I don't even need to use leave.
That's
I'll
right.
just
I don't think
convince
you
my
do.
boss.
I don't think you do.
Just
Yeah.
say you're in the World Series. Hey, I'm in the World Series. I gotta
Hey,
go.
I'm in the World Series.
Done.
Maybe I'll wear my blues. I'll wear my service dress. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about
Someone's
all
gonna
that,
come
but
into the comments and be like, Manchester. And so
It's gonna
anyway.
clash a little bit with your fighter robes that you walk out in. And we're
Yeah.
all like kitted out, and you got like your fighter robes on with your blues underneath, but that's okay.
On the fourth day, I will be quite smelly, sweaty, stinky. Bad boy will be drenched. There'll be just nonstop bad boy sweating, spraying everywhere. So
Sponsored by Bad Boy.
Jared, to bring this back on the rails a little bit, one last thing about Dune Imperium.
yes.
Do you find, I feel like the thing that I've heard most people complain about with base Dune Imperium is like they don't feel like the cards are as useful as they are with the later iterations. How do you feel about the card play? Do you get as excited about the cards, or are they kind of just a means to an end to
I
get where you need to go?
I love the cards. I mean, you got to get more into the trashing, I feel like, because you can get your thick hand, like, because if your only influence is like, low influence at the beginning, you might be like, I'll just buy some cards because I can. And then you kind of have like a thick hand of nothing. And
Mm.
that might just be like a trick, not a trick, but like a strategy that people don't really realize until they've played a while, to be like, oh, I need to trash or thin my hand out, and get cards that help me trash, and so I can cycle through my hand more. I need to go to places where I draw more. So
Yeah, is this or is this not your favorite spot in the
I
whole game?
love that one. I love the Bene Gesserit one where you pay 2 spices to trash, then draw 2. That's like a
Oh,
double whammy. Let's see the one right there that you pointed out. You got to pay 2 waters. Water is so hard to come by in this game.
yeah.
So I think it's well balanced, that it's like it makes it so hard to draw and trash.
Mm.
What I think is good about, I think maybe one of the other expansions, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just when you're playing solo modes or 2-player mode, it will thin out the cards that are shown for buying,
Oh,
because sometimes like it's
yeah.
just crap up there, and you're like, well, I got to buy stuff to just move the market along. But like, there's some good ones out there, like that Thopter that I can see a Thopter. They're showing some major hitters up here. The Thopter, the Alliance one, where you go down in a track, pay some spices, go up 2 in another track. That one can blow some people's minds. They think they're sitting pretty in owning a certain track, and you just come up here, whap whap. You go up 2, you take the Alliance away from them. It changes the vibe in the room. The hearts start thumping. They see the path to victory. Oh yeah, all the things.
So many great moments in this game. You know me, I'm not great at synergizing a deck. So that's usually just an afterthought for me. And that's interesting that you say that maybe don't just buy things just because you have some influence. I'll buy the level 2 Arrakis liaison
Perfect.
every time if I just have 2 influence, and I just fill my deck up with these slightly above junk cards.
Nope.
And then when I finally have enough to get good cards, I never see them.
Arrakis liaison is only good if you're looking to do some Fremen bonding. Okay, a lot of these good cards have extra bonuses if you can do some Fremen bonding. Okay, let's do a sidebar on Fremen bonding, because I'll talk about the entire podcast. So, anyways,
Yeah,
hit me up
we'll
on
table that.
Instagram if you want to talk about Fremen bonds. Okay.
Oh man, that's great. You got me excited about Dune Imperium,
Yeah,
man.
me too.
Well, Travis, when you get into town, I'll whip it out.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Sweet.
All right, Clay, what you got?
This week, I played Creature Caravan. Came out in 2024 by Red Raven Games, designed by Ryan Lockett, illustrated by Ryan Lockett. So Red Raven is a company. I'm pretty sure it's just Ryan Lockett and like his wife. They do the whole thing. They design the games, they do the art, they publish the games as Red Raven, and they have some very popular games: Above and Below, Near and Far, Sleeping Gods. These a lot of them are like story-driven games. Is kind of what he's been known for specifically, and I just never have really gotten into those. But I love his artwork, so I'm always like drawn to Red Raven Games. The only one that I've owned and played before this is one that nobody ever talks about. It's called Rome. It's like a little small box game. Like I think it can be 2 or 4 players, but a little tactical area control game. It's a lot of fun. But Creature Caravan caught my attention because I heard it had simultaneous play. And if you haven't been tuning in, simultaneous play is getting pretty high in my esteem. We're talking Fromage, Planet Unknown, and now Creature Caravan that give you all the fun of a bigger game, but you don't have to wait for other people to take their turns. You're doing it at the same time. So Creature Caravan is mainly a dice placement game.
Oh,
So it was giving me big Ahoy vibes, Jared. If you remember Ahoy,
really?
you have your starting player mat that has some actions you can take with a certain number die. And at the start of your turn, you roll 5 die and you can assign your die to these different actions. So you can get resources, you can attack zombies, you can trade at the market. And the number on the spot is like the minimum value die you have to take that action. So you start out with just that, your basic stuff, and then there's like all these other games, a huge deck of asymmetric cards that you're trying to build out your caravan of creatures that are going to give you more abilities and more things to do with your die, which was a ton of fun. So the main things you're trying to do in this game, it's Creature Caravan, so you're obviously traveling. There's a map on the board that you start on one side and you're traversing across to try and get to East Street, I think is what it's called. And so at the end of the game, if you manage to make it all the way across the map, you get 5 points just for doing that. And then you also get a point for every column you traveled across the map at the end of the game. You also get points. All the creatures you play are worth points. And you get points for trading in resources on the market board, and you get points for attacking zombies. So it's really kind of like I was curious how it would play out because it seems like you just want to get across the board. Like that's the main goal. But you really can kind of choose your own adventure based on the cards you get in your hand. Like if you get a lot of attacking cards, you might want to go to those zombie spaces and get some of those points for attacking zombies. The only player interaction in the game is on the market and zombie board because other than that, you really don't care what the other people are doing. So the way those boards work is that there's like a certain value. When you attack a zombie, it's ambiguous. Like you can attack a zombie that's low as level 5 all the way up to like level 12. And so when you take the attack action based on how much power you have on the die, you can say, well, I have 6 here, so I'm going to attack the level 6 zombie. And then you put your cube on that spot saying that you've beaten the level 6 zombie. And then in 2 turns, since you took that zombie, that place gets locked down. So nobody else can attack that zombie. And that's the same way the trading works too. So like if you want to trade in 1 coin for some bread, you can do that. But then nobody else after, I think it's 2 turns, will be able to trade in 1 coin. Now you have to trade in 2 or more coins. So that's your chief way of interacting with the other players. But it was interesting. Like Mary was zooming across the board. Like the actions you have to move are like it's pretty easy to move to another plane space, but you need to get some special creatures that let you move through like the mountains or the waters. And then if you end your turn on different spaces, they'll give you abilities like the White Tower lets you draw 3 new cards. And then there's like a treasure chest that lets you just draw a random treasure. That'll give you points, etc. So yeah, Mary was like really focused on getting across this board and she was boogieing. She made it all the way to the end. And I was into fighting zombies. Like I was trying to get cards that had the attack symbol, and I was like trying to go through the zombie spaces to be able to take that action. And I got a ton of points doing that. You can have up to 12 creatures in your caravan. I think I got to like 6 or 7. Mary was up at like 8 or 9. So yeah, it's just a really, really a lot more fun and different than I expected it to be. I didn't think that there would be so much flexibility in how you could play the game when I initially read the rules. I knew I was going to like it because I like rolling dice. I like assigning them to actions. But yeah, that ability to kind of choose your own adventure about how you want to try and get points was a lot of fun.
What?
And yeah,
So you said Mary was kind of just racing across, and you took your time to fight all the zombies. Was there a strategy
yeah.
that like played out better for in-game scoring, or was it you have to do a little bit of both to maximize your turns?
I mean, it's too early to tell. I did win.
Okay.
But Mary, it was close. And Mary had played a bunch of like really cheap creatures
Okay.
that didn't get her a lot of points. And I was playing some pretty expensive creatures that got me quite a few points at the end. So between that and the zombie points I got, I did pretty well. But I mean, blew me out of the water scoring points for how far she traveled. So yeah, it's just like an interesting based on the cards you get in your hand, you can kind of say, you know what, I think I'm gonna try and make it as far as I can across the map this time because I have a lot of animals that help me move. And yeah,
Do you have to
it's just
feed the animals or like
well, when you play them, the resources that it costs for them to be played
you do?
are mainly bread.
Hmm.
So kind of
Hmm.
feeding, yeah,
Like a
Also,
yeah,
higher up, like a startup cost, I guess, for the more
yeah,
expensive ones. Hmm.
so on this map that's showing here, it looks like there's a couple of like pretty tight areas to move through where there's only one little piece of grassland to maneuver through. Can you like block
yeah.
others from coming through that same segment?
No,
You just move right through each
when
other.
yeah, when I say there's no player interaction, I mean it.
Mm,
Besides those boards, like you can be on the same space, you can camp on the same
okay.
space, you can do whatever. There's no
Mm,
like shared draw piles. You just have like you draw from the deck and you have your own hand of cards. So
nice,
it's it's pretty solitaire. But I gotta say, like, I don't know that I've liked a game's artwork more than this game.
nice.
And there's a lot like there's just something about it. Like Red Raven Games always has great artwork, but the way this is done is like vibrant. I don't know, but it just really drew me in to the world. And normally I don't pay attention to those type of things, but I was into it in this game.
There's probably like an
So yeah,
alternate universe where this is like just another Oregon Trail game where you're just maneuvering from one side of the nation to the other, but to like
Mm,
make it fantasy and introduce these creatures and fighting zombies instead of like hunting buffalo or whatever it is, like they really spiced this up and made it more interesting to look at, more interesting to be immersed in, and it seems like it's like just a better version of that game. This looks awesome.
mm,
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I mean, we played it 2 players in like 45 minutes probably. And I can't imagine, I'm sure at 3 and 4 players, it doesn't add much more time since you're rolling and taking all your actions at the exact same time. So yeah, I am hot on Creature Caravan. Of like all the games where this is a thing, like building a tableau of a bunch of these different cards, you're thinking about Wingspans, Terraforming Mars, you know, what other games are there like that? Anybody?
I
Yeah. cut that.
Cut that.
No, but you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. There's like all these games. Earth.
Yeah.
I haven't played Earth, but it's just a big deck of cards, and you're trying to play cards. Everdell. See, now they're coming
There
to
you
me.
go.
Dang, wow.
Is
But anyway, of all those
Flamecraft,
games,
is that one kind of like that? No,
uh,
that one's a lot of
I
resources.
don't think so. Yeah, you don't really play them to your own like board to give you abilities.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is like my best first impression of any of those type of games, just because the actions were simple, and seeing the little dice placement spots on each of the cards was easy for me to comprehend versus reading a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
It was just as a good game.
Awesome. That seems
Nice.
awesome. That seems like a great game.
Yeah, no player interaction, but it's fun.
Excellent.
It's a fun solo endeavor with somebody else.
Okay. Are we ready for mine? Are we
Show it to us, Travis. What do you got?
So I got to play a couple of games.
Yeah.
More specifically, I got to play a couple of games about building out structures based on blueprints, which I love. So the first one is Stonespine Architects. It's a new-ish game, came out in 2024, published by Thunderworks Games. Designer is Jordi Adon. Aiden? I don't know how you say that, but plays 1 to 5 players, where you play as a minotaur that is building out a maze for heroes to get trapped in. Okay? So each player has a little blueprint card that shows the maze that they're trying to build. That's a perfect example. So you have your entrance up at the top and your exit down at the bottom, and some symbols and some creatures and some different stuff along the way. And so what you're doing is you are drafting cards to build out this maze that then at the end of the game, the Minotaur or something is your Minotaur supervisor. I don't know the actual name, but he's going to come by and review your maze to see if you hit all of these items that are required for your maze that you're building out. Okay. And each card, it represents one square that will go into your maze based on the blueprint that you're handed. So everybody has a different blueprint. Everybody's trying to get different things. And so you're just drafting a card, you're discarding a card, and then you're passing the cards that are left over to the next person. So when you play 2 players, you're passing these cards back and forth. At more players, I think you take one and then you pass them along anyways. And so you have like certain areas on your blueprint that require traps, some areas that require a concrete or cinder block version of that room. Some require certain monsters. And as you draft, you go around, and each card that you're drafting has the different monsters and stuff. And it also has a coin value that's associated with it. And so as you draft them, when you put them down, you're earning the coins that are on the card. And then once you fill one row of that blueprint, that round is over, and you take the coins that you have earned based on the cards that you've played, plus a bonus for like chests and stuff that you put into your maze, and then you can go to the market phase. And the market has a bunch of different creatures or different treasure chests or things that you can buy that then you can add into your maze to get you bonus points down the road, which is great. Cool opportunity to upgrade your maze that you're building out. Or you can forego the market phase to go straight to bonus cards that are end game scoring objectives and to take initiative for the next round. So it's kind of like this push and pull. Like, I know that this other person is going for most amount of, I don't know, gelatin, like death jellies or whatever. Okay. I can jump up and steal a card from them early and take initiative next round, as long as I forego upgrading my my maze that I'm building out. So at the end of the round, or at the end of 4 different rounds where you're building out these 4 rows, you get bonuses based on number of jellies on your in-game scoring cards, and you get a bonus if you have a path that connects from the entrance to the exit of your maze. So this is like a really cool game where it's like a push and pull. You can seize initiative. You can build this out however you want. It's kind of cool to like see all the different routes that you can take through your maze. And I don't know. I love like mission fulfillment type games where you're like I have this in-game objective. This is what it looks like. I know up front what I'm trying to do, and there's a bunch of different paths to get there. But it's whoever can do that most efficiently and smartest and outsmart the other people. Maybe you're stealing initiative from them. This game is awesome, and it's great on BGA. It's got a cool adaptation. It's got some really cool quality of life features. Like some of these cars get a little hard to see because they have so many icons and stuff going on. There's a button up at the top that says show paths, and it'll show you which paths are connected to one another. It'll like highlight them for you. So yeah, it's a great game. It plays pretty quickly. Every round is different. Every game that I've played is different. Every blueprint card that you're trying to build out is different. So yeah, Stonespine Architects, I'm really enjoying on BGA.
So do you go like from the top to the bottom?
From the top to the bottom. Yep. You draft 4 cards, round is over, then you start anew on your next layer.
And you score the cards no matter what, even if they don't like correspond to what your blueprint looks like. Like
yeah, so not
you want it to look like yours, but like you'll score it whatever you do put down.
Yeah, so every room that you're putting in might not match exactly what you're trying to do on the blueprint, but if you can line up the card that you're drafting and adding to your dungeon or your maze, you get bonus points if you get to fulfill those different areas. So on this picture, you see like there's a little, tower looking thing with the hatches through it. Those are the concrete rooms or the cinder block rooms or whatever you call it, masonry rooms. And if you put that card in that spot, you get a bonus point at the end of the game. And
nice.
At the end of those 4 rounds, player with the highest amount of points at the end wins. So, yeah, this one's great.
I do like this.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna fire this one up with you guys. Like the tutorial on this game on BGA is great. It walks you through everything you need to know in like 5 minutes. And I actually did the tutorial, and I felt like I understood the game and what was going on from the bat. So.
No way.
Yeah. I'm gonna start this one up with you guys because it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love a drafting game. Drafting's fun.
Yep.
I like a good beefy centaur too.
Oh yeah.
Come to check my work.
Minotaur.
Jeez. Yeah, Minotaur.
Check your work.
Yeah. I mean, civil engineers over here follow me some blueprints.
That's right.
Stamp my blueprints with my PE. Yeah.
Well, I have another game about completing blueprints later on, but that's for the over the fence. So, other game that I played is Tussie, Mussie by Elizabeth Hargrave. Okay, this has been published a couple times. This is a cutesy game about exchanging flowers with another person. Okay, Elizabeth Hargrave, maker of Wingspan, some awesome games. Okay, Fox Experiment. She has some really cool designs. This game is about exchanging flowers with somebody. And Tussie Mussie is the Victorian word for assigning meaning to different flowers, okay? This game is super easy because you're drawing 2 cards, you keep one, you pass one to the other person, and then the next person goes. And if you play with more than 2 people, you pass them around a circle or whatever. But basically, you're trying to maximize your hand of 4 cards, which is like your bouquet, and the cards play off of one another. It kind of reminds me of like... Fantasy Realms. Yes, thank you, Clay. It reminds me of Fantasy Realms where these cards play off of one another. Like if the purple card or the hyacinth is next to the daisy or whatever, it gets bonus points. Okay. The difference is you can play cards face up or face down, and the face down are the keepsakes. Okay, they're like private little gifts that you get to keep, and the face up are typically the flowers that will play off of one another. I got the base game and I got a couple of the expansions. A couple of the expansions are like the greenery. Okay, it's just like greenery that can get added into your bouquets. There's a orange flower expansion. I didn't really play with that one. And then there's another one that's called ribbons, and the ribbons can replace the greenery as like special things that will tie your bouquet together and give you bonuses. This is the version that I have, which is the button shy version. I know this has been reprinted a couple times. They have a big deluxe box that has all of the expansions in it, and those are at like Barnes and Noble and stuff. But for what it is, I mean, this game I'll play it a couple times and travel with it, and this is a great like 2-player passing cards back and forth type of game. And then if I ever feel like I need to upgrade, I'll get the big box and I'll pass this along to somebody, and It'll be a great gift.
It's like you're really setting us up for the mission objective
am.
by talking
Wow.
about
I am.
this little travel
It
size
is a
button
travel
shy
size
game.
button shy game. I have one quick bonus game. This is going to take 20 seconds. This is another button shy game called Champion Land Track and Field. About this,
what?
not knowing anything about it, but it's a game about track and field where you are playing cards between the values of 1 and 9. Everybody has the same cards where you're playing these different rows. It's like a lane battler where there's hidden values. Okay, so you have 9 cards in your hand. You play 3 face down and 6 face up. 3 of them will contribute to the middle row, which are the medals that you're trying to win. The 6 that are competing for those medals go on your side. Ooh, that's a nice little compact version of it. Man, I might.
They had it in gum stick.
That's awesome. Okay, the low values are your sprints, where you are trying to be the lowest value. The middles are your jumps and skills, where you're trying to be the closest number to 5. And your highs are your strength events, your javelin, your discus, your hammer, where you're trying to be the highest number. Okay, it's kind of a cool game because you're like competing for maybe hidden values. Where like if I play a medal face down in the middle row, the other person might not know which value that is. That's going to dictate what type of card is required to win that row. Okay, so like I play a 5 face down. I know that I have to be closest to 5 on my next card that's competing for that one to win it. But the other person might think, oh, that's the highest card, or, they play a kind of a random card to try and win whatever it is. So you're trying to like use your cards judiciously to win these different medals, and whoever wins the most out of the 6 in the middle wins. Super fast game. We played it in 30 seconds. It's super quick and easy. The reason I bring this up, Champion Land is a series, and they have a Champion Land wrestling game.
I just saw it as he was typing it in. I saw
Yeah.
Champion Land Wrestling.
Champion Land Wrestling and Champion Land Volleyball. I have not played those. I don't know what those look like, but I know that it exists. So Champion Land Wrestling.
I saw wrestling.
There you go.
Oh, look at
But
that.
I think each of them.
I crotch. Wow.
I think each of them plays differently. So I know that the volleyball, you're playing like sets of 3 cards, I think, for like bump, set, spike to try and like rally this ball back and forth. I don't know what this one looks like.
Single leg.
Oh my God. How do I get this?
Yeah. Button shy.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
It's been around for a while.
Awesome.
Clayton, you've been sleeping.
No, it hasn't.
It said 2024.
Dang. Those pictures were from November 23.
That's a review copy. Anyways, Champion Land. Get your wrestler or track and field athlete or volleyball athlete.
That looks like it fits in a pocket, and then the stick of gum. What do you call those? Gum stick games?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen these button shy games, Jared?
You guys are talking like I know this. What are you guys talking about?
It's a button shy game.
Is that a publisher?
Yeah. Button shy, they do these like 18 card games that fit in a wallet sized thing like that.
Yeah.
You just throw them in a backpack, throw them in your pocket, and you travel with them, and they are great travel games. Speaking of travel games, let's hit the mission objective. Today we're talking travel games that you take on the go. The reason we're talking about this is because we are all about to make a great voyage, the 3 of us, and we're trying to move all over the world, and we each have different circumstances under which we're moving, okay? Clay, you got the boys, you got the dog. You're going to load the boys up, throw a bunch of board games on top of them, okay? Stack them up high.
Absolutely.
These are sitting on your lap for the next 18 hours, kids. Here we go. Jared, I know you're going to fit all the games that you can in the frunk of the Tussie.
That's
before you start traveling, right? And I'm moving via airplane, and I have to lug all of my bags across the world. Okay, so it's a little more challenging for me to bring big box games. So we have different considerations, but we're all in the move, and I want to talk about travel games. What games make good travel games? What are your considerations? And which games are you going to travel with, more importantly?
I just want to throw this out as a challenge for the 3 of us for legit. When we do move, I want to see who brings the most games with them, and like maybe we can weigh them or like who gets the most number of games, and then like weight by weight.
Ooh.
I mean, I am doing a ditty, so I am actually packing all of them with me, but like I will set aside some of them to be easy access. So
You're
I don't
traveling
know.
with all
Are you-
5 of your board games.
Yeah,
Hey, he's probably got like 10 now.
That's
I
right.
got
And
I got 10.
he's got more on the way. So,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
all right.
on the way. You shipped it?
I mean, I will this week.
Yeah.
But by the time this publishes, it will be on the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Right on.
All right. So, Clay, what
Always
are you
just threw
considering?
that as a challenge, but
What am I considering? Yeah, I will be traveling by minivan. Our hope is to send our children back on the plane with my parents after
Whoa.
my brother graduates from the Air Force Academy. They'll go back. So it'll just be me, Mary, the dog, and a big minivan
full of
full of
board
space
games.
for me to put games in.
Excellent.
So I don't know exactly what I'm going to bring, but let me talk about real quick before we get into this some publishers that I feel like are knocking it out of the park with making games that you should consider bringing. And we already talked about Button Shy. Boom, wallet size games. These are always good. A lot of solo and 2-player ones in their lineup.
Boink.
We got all play with their
Ah.
tiny box
Yeah.
selection. They just came out with like 3 or 4 games: Rainbow, Panda, Fairy. These ones are fun, quick games that you can lug easy. I talked about Pixies last week.
Oh yeah.
Pandasaurus has these small box games. This and Sea Salt and Paper are the 2 I have. And then, of course, the Juggernaut, Oink, where all their games are in a nice little small travel size box. And then All Play hits again with even their not tiny box, their small box are still easy to pack and take along. So they have a lot of good ones. Speaking of, I'll get to that in a second. And then the last publisher that has like a good line of games in a smaller size box is Bitewing. They have their like small game collection that come in these like little magnetic boxes. So all those publishers have games that I think should be in consideration anytime you're thinking about packing some up, because they're all small, they're all light, and you can teach to anybody, which I think is important. Travel games, you're going to be around mixed company. You don't know who you're going to be with. You got to have something that's going to be easy to get out and people can get into pretty quick. Because you don't want to be bringing Tiny Epic Cthulhu. Sure, it's small and you can travel with it, but like, are you really going to run into somebody that wants that?
I mean,
probably not.
I'm just saying, if you're going on a road trip, and if you're going on a road trip, because even Travis, he's got a road trip. He's coming into BWI, getting his truck. He's still got to drive down here to Alabama, and he's going to need to stay the night in the hotel. Who's saying after the baby goes down, him and Rachel don't want to bust out, something a little bit heavier? It's still small, but. So I don't know. I'm still thinking maybe I'm getting something that's got a little bit of density to it. Maybe it's not too just like lightweight, tiny tin can, But I was even gonna harken back to a previous episode of ours about card games and stuff too. Back to our good old days on bus trips and stuff. You just need a good deck of cards, or I don't remember which buddy of mine, but like my buddy had his parents always played Farkle on the car ride, like on a good long car ride. His parents would just play Farkle. Maybe it was my parents. I don't think it was my parents. I would know that if it was my parents. But Farkle's like an easy one, right? You just like shake up the die. You can throw it right into the cup holder and keep pushing your luck, right?
Yeah.
So
we love that.
Something easy with some dice. But I have actually thought of a couple games already, and it's no wonder that I'm going to keep out Spots.
Yep.
I'm going to keep out Dice Miner, because I'm gonna consider my partners that I'm gonna be playing with. But I personally, my in-laws are gonna be helping out driving the U-Haul. So, and maybe you guys can help me pick out. I know my selection is limited, but they might be interested in a game or two. We're not going too far, and might want to entertain ourselves after the baby goes to sleep in the hotel. What kind of games get the grandparents excited?
Rebirth.
I
Yahtzee.
was thinking Rebirth, guys. I was actually thinking Rebirth.
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of big, but
I took a hard look at Rebirth, and it sat there, and I want to keep playing it, and I want to get it to the table more, and I want to make sure that it's not locked away for 3 months on a ship going across the ocean. But man, that box is just a little bit too big to justify cramming into a duffel bag. Like we're doing like deployment bags, and we are
Yep.
limited to a couple of those, and we got to fit all Baby Gwen stuff. So yeah, we're real confined for space.
Sorry, Baby
You
Gwen.
definitely have the biggest constraint.
Yeah, we're gonna have to delete some of Baby Gwen's stuff. So yeah, Rebirth is gonna go.
Yeah. So Clayton, what games are you considering bringing with you? Have you put some thought into it, or are you just gonna wing it day of? Or
It's the time is not right now. I usually I don't have as many constraints as you, so I can throw a couple of my bigger box games in there, and they're all going to be the ones that I know rock and roll because I'm going to show up to Pennsylvania. I'm not going to have a place to stay right away, so I'm going to have to make do somewhere else with people that aren't gamers. And if they're like, "Hey, what you got?" I want to have
Fire.
only bangers.
Yeah, absolute fire.
So Rebirth's probably coming with me.
Oh yeah.
I want things that are going to get the party started because I'm establishing a footprint in Pennsylvania now
Oh wow.
as the game capital. And I can't show up with some junky euro that nobody's going to like. I need to ease in with some party game potential and one that's definitely coming that I just got and just played 2 times, 2 raving reviews is Things and Rings from All Play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jared, it's in this size box. Got it at Barnes and Noble. Basically, it's Venn diagram, the board game. And you just have these 2 big rings. One person knows what each ring is. So like one ring corresponds to like the way the word's spelled or like how many syllables it has. And the other ring is like an attribute of the word, like made of metal, has spots, whatever. And you just put these things in rings. And people are trying to get rid of all the cards in their hand by putting them in the right piece of the Venn diagram. And the knower will move it to the right spot if you get it wrong. And so it's super simple and it's so much fun because you have no idea what's going on. And I've played it with a bunch of people that aren't like big gamers in the past few days. And they were like, "Oh, I love this game. This is amazing." I don't know how I feel about it personally, but I love when people love a game. So I think that's a good one to have on hand that just you rip out, you play a couple rounds and people have a good time.
Yeah, I've heard that one's pretty light and easy.
It feels like Wavelength meets That's So Clover. Like it's feeling that might be party game central. Might be something I need to procure, I feel like.
You need to check that out, Jared.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I agree. You need to come in hot and heavy. Wavelength might be actually. I said Wavelength. You're gonna have you're coming back home, Pennsylvania. Big crowds want to see what's going on. You can really get the crowd moving with some Wavelength. Build the anticipation while you're tilting open up the the blinder and bam, you get right on that 4. I've heard some pretty loud yelping. The box is big though. You're gonna have to commit to some big, space here. So,
can I pick your guys' brain for a second? 100%. I also have a leg of the trip that is 8 hours on a plane. So, what are your go-to plane tray games?
I don't know, man. I've seen people talk about playing a game on the tray, but I don't know that I would do it. I would really just get on BGA on my phone and play on there. But if
We just
I
had a
was
story. We just
insistent,
had a story about how Jared lost a bunch of karma because he had a game going on Delta
Yeah,
and he lost
that's
and
right.
he lost connection.
Yeah, Delta, I
yeah,
need you to
that's scary stuff.
reimburse me my karma.
I don't know, maybe regicide.
What's that little the game with the little pegs, the card game that you play with the peg?
Oh, is that like spades or what is that one?
Mm-mm.
It's on the tip of my tongue. It's a Midwest game, guys.
Yeah, and they have like
Oh,
the custom boards that they make, and they like move your point tracker up.
Are you talking about the thing with the Cracker Barrel?
No, no,
kind
no, no, no,
no.
no.
That tells you're like a ninja.
It's it's a card game where you're. It's a card game where like you play these. It's like a trick taker, and then you move your little peg up that counts your score over a couple different rounds. Man, what is that? All right, if
I want to say pickler, but it's
no,
not pickler.
no.
No.
Uh, yes, I consider Regicide. I have played that on a airplane tray table before. Uh, Hive Mini or Hive Pocket. I've considered that.
Oh,
That'd be a
Yeah,
good
that'd
one
be
to
good.
sit
That'd be
there.
good.
For Northwood, I'm considering. I think I'm going to bring Gloomhaven Button and Bugs because you're literally playing on one little card at a time, and the card is your uh, like the room that you're navigating with the enemies and stuff. You can play that on like
Yeah, but
one single.
you hit a little bit of turbulence, and now all your little buttons and bugs are
Yeah, I
flying all
mean,
over the
oh.
place.
you got a couple of little cubies on there.
It's a simple one.
Yeah.
Skulls. The bluffing one, where
I feel
you're.
like you need more than two people and a baby to play Skull, though.
That's
Maybe I
true.
get my
Yeah,
fellow
That is
passengers
true.
involved.
yes.
That is
Whoever's
true.
in that third seat next to you.
We should specifically request two seats that are separate from one another and somebody
Yeah,
in the
that's
middle,
true.
and then we can rope them into a game.
Yeah, that's right.
Play some. Just saw one back behind me here. Welcome
Oh
to.
yeah,
Oh,
a roll and write. That's like a good consideration because I have like they have some really compact roll and write games. Like, have you ever played like Catan, the dice game? Catan, the dice game is great because you're like rolling the dice that earn you the resources that you use to then build out into this web of, the typical Catan island. But like, we really like the Lost Cities roll and write. That's one of our favorites. That would be a good one. Yes, Clayton.
Travis, if you haven't yet, I don't know if you've played My City,
Yes.
but My City Roll and Write.
Mm,
I played that whole thing by myself. The only solo game I've ever played multiple times in a row for like a month.
okay.
And it was a lot of fun. So, Knizia, My City, it was good. Yeah.
So
The roll and write version.
I've had to make these decisions already. This is like the cleanup round because they're coming this week to pack all of my games up.
no way!
I've been standing in front of that wall for like a month now, just contemplating.
Jeepers.
And I still don't feel good about my decisions, but I have a whole stack of button shy games
Mm.
to include ones that are multiplayer solo games. I got expansions in there, and it only takes up, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 inches of space. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty compact. I was cleaning out one of my drawers and I found Doom Pilgrim, which I talked about previously, the little mint
Yeah.
tin adventure
Mint.
box. I really want to like
yeah.
dive in. That's a perfect game to like play for a couple hours on the plane and get through a run where I can just play it by myself, play cards in front of me. That one's in there. I think the largest box that I have right now is like Lord of the Rings trick taking game because I haven't played that yet. And it's like pretty thin, pretty light. And it takes up, I don't know, like size of 2 bars of chocolate or something. It's like pretty compact. So I don't know. I'm still like kicking myself because I have these, the little IKEA Kallax like drawer boxes that are for storage. I have like 6 of those that are just filled with small box games that I'm like really just wringing my hands over, and I can't decide which ones I want to bring with and which ones I need to leave behind. So Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can like take a picture of all of our travel games, like the ones that we finalize and like land on, and post it on Instagram because
Yes.
people need to know the games that you can travel
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is going to make the cut?
it's tough,
I ha-
man.
In my minivan, a lot can make the cut.
yeah. I got something on Facebook Marketplace to assist me with my travels, and it was one of those hitch, like little, like, I don't know, extenders where you can put things on your
Oh
hitch.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah. Oh,
basket
yeah.
that
It's like
sits
a
on your.
great,
Yeah.
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 And so then we got little containers from Costco. So like that's what we're gonna use to, because we're gonna live in a hotel for a little bit once we get to Virginia. So I mean, I can put a considerable amount of board games in one of those.
Yeah.
Along with a good. We have like this air fryer slash toaster that we use like every day. So like Adrian and I are like, okay, well that's gonna go. We can live pretty comfortably in a hotel. Well, it's a hotel it has like a little kitchen area. It does have like a
Mm.
stove and a sink.
How many games
Um,
can fit in the toaster? Let's get real compact with it.
oh gosh, yeah, we can. Yeah, there's empty space in the toaster. But I do have one game that's been sitting in my Amazon, Skull King. I think
Yeah.
that one would be fun with
Oh,
the in-laws, and that's
So
pretty small.
yeah.
have they played trick taking games? Like, are they familiar with following suit and Trump and all that?
That'll be
Or
fine. They're smart
no,
cookies.
I just didn't know if that was something they would like be interested in just because they have experience with it.
No, I mean they're not much of board gamers, if you will.
Hmm.
I haven't like played a ton of games with them, but I've
If you
been it.
pray hard enough, you can make them a board
That's
That's
right.
gamer.
right. I'll get them on the right path. But
Yeah,
I'd like to yo-ho with them. I think I'd like to
yeah,
rebirth with them.
yeah.
And then I got that little freaking on the back of the Jeep. I gotta have a couple extra totes, so I think I'm
You're
ready.
set.
Yeah. So
Well, you got anything else, Clay?
No, I want to know what Jared's not bringing because it sounds like he can probably get most of his games
Well, until he gets his box,
en
it's on
route.
the way.
you actually
Yeah,
call in
yes.
Adrian. She'll probably be the one to tell you. Actually, but I
Yeah.
mean,
She's like, you can bring spots, and that's it.
as soon as I get to Virginia, I mean, I'm gonna have access to coal. So there's some
He's
good.
got a little collection too. He's got a Hoy.
Really, he has a Hoy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Before he left, he gave me like $150 and said, make him a game collection.
oh my
And
god,
so I went out and tried to get him a well-rounded game collection.
that's
And so
beautiful.
he's got some good ones over there.
I love a Hoy, and well, I think, I mean, you have Dead Reckoning, but and you'll be coming down every month, so that'll be good. That we'll have access to that, right, dear?
Jared, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to throw us off here. I sold Dead Reckoning.
No, you didn't. No,
I
you sold it,
did. I sold it.
Cole. I'm calling Cole right now.
We already went through the campaign. It was so big and so many boxes. It didn't make the cut. It didn't make the cut.
Are we all now? It's just on board the tabletop simulator. We can only play on
I'll never
tabletop.
play it on there
It
again.
only exists in our memory.
I
One of
need a
you will
moment
have
of
to get it.
silence. Actually, I'm sad.
Yeah, sorry to derail the episode. I just saw the light in your eyes about Dead Reckoning. I couldn't let you go on thinking it still was here.
Well, while Jared grieves, if you are listening to this and yelling into your microphone or into your phone about what games we should have brought with us, go ahead and pipe up in the comments, hit us up on Instagram, tell us what travel games we need to pack because we have some tough decisions to make coming up and we need your help. So hit us up, tell us what travel games we should be bringing, and yeah, hopefully this all goes well. We ready to go over the fence?
Let's go over the fence.
All right, Clayton, hit me. Tell me what you've been doing outside of board gaming.
Oh, so much over the fence. In a not fun, but kind of fun. Nobody cares, but this is my over the fence. So personally, we closed on selling our
Woo
house
woo.
in Colorado Springs this week. On the same day, we went under contract on a house in Pennsylvania. So we're lining things up. Still don't have a job, but I will have a house to pay
That's
for.
right.
So we'll figure something out. Those are big things happening on that front. I did, as promised last week, finish The Sopranos at long last. The
Wow.
whole series is done. I thought the last episode was good. You said it had some
It was controversial.
haters.
It was controversial at the time.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did have to like Google on my phone at the very end. I was like,
What does
what
it
just happened?
mean?
But yeah, definitely a satisfying series that we finished, got through. It's great. Saw the Minecraft movie last week.
Okay.
The kids
Oh.
were hyped about it.
Did your theater erupt when he said chicken jockey?
No, we were there
With
in
kids.
like mid-afternoon
Okay.
at like the dinner theater.
Have
You
you
know
have
where
you
they
seen the
serve you
videos of
dinner.
this?
No.
Okay, so this is like
Yeah.
a meme right now. It started on TikTok or whatever, where when Jack Black says chicken jockey, the theater just freaking erupts and people are throwing popcorn and parading
No
around. Oh
way.
my God. Like, seriously, look this up. It is insane. Like, people pull
Wow.
out their
No,
phones.
fortunately
Chickens to the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
nobody threw
oh my
anything.
God. Well, that's good.
I feel let
That's for the
down.
best.
But it was a fun movie. You know, Jack Black, he's a freaking character.
Yeah.
I never played Minecraft, but my kids think they play Minecraft, and uh, you know, I don't really see them doing much. It looks like my brother Brooks, he was a big time Minecrafter,
Okay.
and he came by the other day and started playing for them. And they were on cloud nine. They were like, "This is like I'm watching a YouTuber." Like, you
Oh
know,
Like,
my
usually like
YouTube
building
in
a
real
house and
life.
stuff. Yeah, and so they think he's the coolest person on earth now.
Well, he
But
is. He's
if I was a video gamer, Minecraft seems cool. You know, it was giving me Agricola vibes because you had to get animals, but then you also have to make a furnace so that you can cook them, and then they give you a better return on their meat
Yeah.
versus just eating raw meat, which is the same thing. It's basically Agricola.
And then the
Yep.
zombies come out, just like Agricola Dead Rising or whatever it's called. Dead
Yeah,
Harvest.
yeah. So
Wow.
Minecraft movie's a lot of fun. I'm sure if you were ever into Minecraft, you would really appreciate it. It was just a fun movie, so had a blast there. And that is going to conclude my over the fence.
Excellent.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Well done.
So Minecraft is a Euro trash, huh? Interesting.
Well, it's just Euro. I don't think it's too well. I guess there's a little trash with the creepers and stuff.
Yeah. All right, Jared, hit me. What you been doing?
Have I don't know if I've told you guys I invested in a Blackstone. Did I tell you guys about that?
Yes, you did.
So I have perfected it. I am I popping off with my buttermilk pancakes.
Oh,
That's why I did need to push back today. Thank you guys for always being flexible with my chaotic schedule and everything. So I busted out about 36 pancakes, and there's my little teenager.
Daddy.
Yeah, I'm just telling them about how I made pancakes. Were they so good?
Yeah.
Yeah, go tell Mama
yeah.
and about your pancakes. Thank you. And and
Her raspy little voice.
and then so where was I at? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought because my naked 2-year-old just
You
walked in
made
here.
36 pancakes.
In the matter of like 3 minutes. So
Nice.
I'm just
Yeah.
envisioning myself in the future, just cranking out these pancakes next time that we all get together with our families.
Oh yeah.
Also, the uni. I can't wait to get my uni out. And I saw that there's some sales going on with unis, and also credit card deals where you can click that little deal on your credit card offers or whatever, like, and you buy an uni and you get $100 back. So if you want to up your outdoor eating game, go get yourself an uni and a Blackstone, because I've been loving cooking outside. The temperature's getting great outside. So
I thought you were about to say that you bought a second uni, but
no,
glad to hear that you did not.
Daddy.
no. All right, I am going mic off.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a couple of things to share real quick. Second, as promised, another game about building according to blueprints. And this is a game called Blueprints, like the Royal Kingdom Prince. And it's a new video game that just came out that is like sweeping the internet. Okay. It's a roguelike game where you start a new day over fresh. You don't carry over any items, you don't carry over any progress, but what you do carry over is information. So the whole premise of the game is that you have been invited to this mansion, this sprawling mansion that you are going to inherit if you can find the 46th room of a 45 room mansion. And so what you do is when you enter this room, or you enter into the mansion right through the front door, you start in the entryway, and it's a 9x5 grid that is the mansion that you're going to be building out. And as you cross the thresholds into new rooms, like you walk up to a door and you open it, it deals you 3 cards that are potential rooms that you can lay down on top of the blueprint. So it's kind of like, I was sold on this game when it was described to me as Betrayal at House on the Hill. And I was like, I'm sold. Okay. You walk up to a door, you're like, I'm going to walk through this door. It deals you 3 cards that you can choose from that are different rooms that you can go into, and you lay it down on your blueprint. And the whole idea is to work your way through this blueprint house to uncover how to get to the 46th room in a 45 room house. And it's giving me like seriously Myst vibes. If you ever played Myst on your old like PC back in the day, it was like one of the first like adventure puzzle games. But it's like full of interconnected puzzles. You'll walk into one room and you're like, there's a picture on the wall and that must correspond to this other room. It's like an escape room mixed with an adventure, mixed with a puzzle, all rolled up into one. And it is great. Highly recommend. Blueprints. Prince as in royalty, Prince. And man, it's so great. I am loving it. And the game just keeps like unfolding like this puzzle box, and it's intriguing and frustrating and amazing all at the same time. Just like,
I dig it.
I heard this like interview with the guy that made it, and I wish I could shout him out. Clay, maybe you can help me behind the scenes while I do this. But this guy interviewed him, and he's like, "Oh, I see you have a movie poster behind you," and he's like, "Oh yeah, that movie came out in 1947." And he's like, "Oh great, like I love that movie. It's one of my favorites." Oh, it was Nightmare Alley, the original Nightmare Alley. He's like, "Yeah, the movie came out in 1947." And he's like, "Oh, I see you have other movie posters behind you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't really care about those movies as much." And he's like, "Then why do you have the posters on your wall?" And he's like, "Well, this house was built in 1947 and those movies came out in 1947." And like, that's just how this guy, his mind works, is like these interconnected relationships of things. Like, yeah. And that just like defines the whole game.
Nice.
What did you need from me?
The creator of Blueprints.
Published by Raw Fury, directed by Tonda Ross.
Tonda Ross. Yeah, Tonda Ross is just like this brainiac that is developing this game, and it's awesome. So check out Blueprints if you're interested. Did we do it?
Sweet.
I think we did it.
I think we did it.
We are hitting the road. This has been episode 35 of the Operation Game Night podcast. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. If you're liking the podcast, share it with others. For Operation Game Night, I have been Travis. He has been Clay. He has been Jared. And we're out.
Crap.